G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Bloodied 44 Magnum with bullets exploding for area damage and 15% faster reload, major and minor legendary effects respectively. Not a terrible lineup of legendary effects. The Bloodied and the explosive lends itself well to doing a lot of damage except for on Scorch Beast, and the 15% faster reload lends itself well to the low ammo capacity of this thing. So if we need to shove more bullets on this thing to keep it firing, it'll be slightly faster. Synergizes well with Speed Demon too. Anyways, you'll notice how it's got the gold paint on it. This was a camo, I guess, or a paint released ages ago, and I haven't done a 44 Magnum ever. Have I done a 44 Magnum before? I don't know. I think I got this from Murmur, though. It's a pretty decent drop from her. Got the true long barrel and true grip to tighten up hipfire accuracy and press the accuracy button on this, make it a little bit higher, so that way we can target things and that's a little bit easier. And you'll also notice I've got a scope on this, so I'm going to be sniping with this thing a little bit more, as compared to a revolver that is basically the same weapon, but with different numbers. The Western revolver, this thing is inferior, and I'll get to that in a second, but for now, we're doing 90 damage with this thing completely unspec'd, which is not too bad, but you gotta remember how this thing is a revolver. It can't be suppressed. You have to pull the hammer back every time you fire. So it's slow, but it's not as slow as a hunting rifle, so I guess it's got that. So we've got, you gotta chuck on these gunslinger perks to make it shoot harder, because it's a gunslinger weapon. You can tell the cowboys have the revolvers in those pictures, but yeah, semi-auto. Or bolt action, actually, according to the game, because you have to pull the hammer back. But now with all of those perks, including Bloody Mess on, 182 damage. And for comparison's sake, 182 on the 44 Magnum, whereas we're getting 216 on the Western Revolver, which are functionally the same weapon. This one just has better stats. You'll notice how the accuracy stat on the 44 Magnum is better. It's just because I've got a scope on it. So I'm trying to even the odds a little bit. It's going to make our VATS AP usage a little bit worse, but we've got a bunch of AP regen on our unyielding armor now, including, I think it's that one has it, and that one has it, that one has it, so it's only that one. I've heard that it only stacks to 3, but I like just piling on the AP regen because, well, it's good. Alright, so 20% health now. Nerd Rage has been activated, and now we're doing 565, which is kind of respectable, yeah, but then you see the Western Revolver doing 670, which is, yeah, over 100 damage more at this point. So that scope, we're going to have to sit back and snipe at things, I guess. Okay, welcome to the green fake tan manufacturing plant, and we've already seen the armor, but the mutations are that. And I've got a couple of buffs on too, including Sweet Mute Fruit Tea. So if I want to, shoot a crit in somebody's face, it'll do slightly more damage. But doing the old sneaky business now, we seem to be doing well. That was funny. I just hit him on the mini nuke, so he goes up in a big old boom. Also satisfying to do. And basically what I want to do is just keep on sniping as much as possible. It won't last forever because this thing is not suppressed, so whilst we've got our enemies at range there, we're going to have to play this a little bit conservatively, but we are one-shotting everything at this point, which is good. Obviously, the sneak attack multipliers are lending themselves quite well, and I think I nailed that one from splash damage. Yeah, since you get 20% splash damage for the weapon from its base damage, you can actually pull alright numbers for the splash damage out of this thing, but you'll find that your bullets or that your DPS is a little bit slow compared to some of the more faster firing things. So they're doing 729 with only 48% adrenaline because, well, I don't have a lot of points in agility to spare. I wonder if they'll do a rebalance of gunslinger weapons in Wastelanders. Maybe I didn't complain loud enough. Well, the Reddit whiners didn't complain about it, so maybe it's not even on Bethesda's radar, or rather they just didn't want all weapon types to be created equally. Well, I guess I did manage to solo a Scorched Beast Queen using a pistol weapon, but they just need a little bit of a boost. Now, I had an idea the other day that could really help out gunslinger builds, and one of the main ways to, artificially boost your damage to what it wouldn't be normally is to... Ooh, the puff of smoke obscured the super mutant. He was able to get away. Lucky him. But one of the, I guess I'll have to continue this thought session inside the place, so I'll do that. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so basically a high luck crit damage build is the best way to run a gunslinger because these these weapons don't get a whole lot of damage. I mean, you compare them to something like a Stealth Commando Fixer, and you're going to get out-damaged extremely quickly. So, what I propose, and this is probably an easy fix, is to pinch an idea from Borderlands 2. Zero had a perk in that, or a perk, I guess, called Critical Ascension, and basically, what you got after you did a critical is a little bit of a stack of Critical Ascension, and every single stack of Critical Ascension would add plus 5% damage to your criticals. And if we could get a Critical Ascension stacking with pistols in this game, oh my god, you'll have amazing VATS viability with that. I could annihilate the Queen if I was just to spam crits all the time. I feel like that would be an awesome way to play, because I'm always going to be running these weapons with a high luck, high crit spamming build anyway. I might as well make that better, right? And it won't be overpowered for PvP because, well, guess what you can do in PvP to counteract VATS? You can crouch. Now, I've also got fireproof on, just so if I shoot myself and the explosions are too close to me, I don't die. Ooh, I'm being overrun here. And, yeah, too easy indeed. You're just lucky I don't have a suppressor, mate. And that's one of the things about running this weapon. It's too slow. You'll get killed extremely easily. And if you're wondering, those bits of junk are on the gulpers near my house. I killed them. I was going to cook and eat them, but I didn't do that. And fireproof, please. I think I just escaped the grenade range, or the explosive radius of that. We'll keep on shooting. And might as well just use VATS now. I've been talking about using this thing with VATS, and I haven't been doing as such. See, you have to play slow with these weapons, and you'll end up getting killed, especially when you can't one-shot super mutants. One-shotting stuff is one of the most important things you can do for these types of weapons, so, you know, if I was to get a little bit extra Critical Ascension stacking out of this, also missing shots isn't good either, but what I'll do now is attempt not to miss shots by using VATS, and I've got the perception to back me up from all of the unyielding armor that I'm wearing, so there's no reason for me not to. Now, I already killed these bastards, didn't I? Yes, I did. So, you know, if I can get the drop on these guys, it's, you know, it's a pretty easy. What I should probably do instead is chuck on Life Giver, so I've got that weird health regeneration. But, yeah. As soon as more than 3 super mutants start shooting at me, and I'm perpetually detected now. This thing, I mean, it's going to give away my position. It's a 44 Magnum, god damn it. But if I can't even one-shot them in the chest, I mean, yeah, okay. I think we get the point here. Time for revenge. Kill him. Kill him. What do you mean I didn't one-shot him? I got 800 damage on that shot. Weird. I should have one-shotted that guy. I know that that super mutants have about 700 health, so I don't know. There's something a little bit off about this, but yeah, like I was talking about before, this thing being functionally the same as a Western revolver, I'm much better off using that. Look at the damage difference now. Oh well. Okay, so here we are outside. The ghouls then just showing off the suit for a second because it matches the gun. That's like the coolest thing about it. Other than that, the weapon's kind of mediocre. But I would chuck on the dress, but, well, Brooke's not really a dress girl. Neither Brooke or Bridget are really dress girls. But you can't actually access the dress. It's still broken. I remember it was broken with the sequin dress, but then they broke it again. You can't even get it. And people bought that shit, and they can't even access it. It's the worst. Anyways, so I'm basically stuck already, which is great. I'm going to have to play this really carefully and probably just go to the tennis courts and just, you know, take them on one by one there. Although, if I can stop them here. Okay, that was a bad time to miss. So was that. Alright, time to actually aim, I think. There we go. Yeah, aim probably isn't too good, to be honest. That's better. The ghoul has decided to take on the bear instead, so we'll get a little bit of bear gameplay in here. Just get a nice little hip fire one-shot on him there. And once they're inside the fence, we can actually attack them in VATS, which is helpful. Outside of VATS? Oh, you could... That was weird. That's the deers from the fence, but not the tools. And I took off fireproof and it's bit me in the ass. So here's the problem with the 44 Magnum. It's the same fucking weapon as the Western revolver, but worse in every single way. You've got two weapons that are functionally identical, do the exact same thing. One of them has lower damage numbers and is a little bit more common. Sure, you've got the accessibility, but unlike something that is accessible in the commando variety, like the assault rifles that the super mutants carry, it hasn't got any redeeming qualities. The qualities of the assault rifle are, sure, they're easy to get and easy to maintain, but they reload fast. If you've got a slow reloading character, or you don't have speed demon, or you just want to keep the DPS going, you can reload that thing extremely quickly. There's none of that here. There's no niche benefits this thing could possibly give you to actually warrant you to use it. And why would you ever use it when you're leveling up? You've got the 10mm pistol, which is an objectively better weapon. You get better ammo capacity, better damage potential because you can actually use it with a sneak build. The rounds are a lot easier to make. I'm pretty sure they're lighter as well, so if you're a little bit light on the carry capacity and don't have bandolier, this weapon has no niche at all. So what would I do to it to make it better? Firstly, I'd make it double action so you could fire it as fast as possible. And, you'd have to, use skill to actually counter the recoil. Now that would be more interesting than just a bolt action. It's a small bolt action fucking hunting rifle. That's all this thing is. It's boring. It's not very interesting at all. And they gave it a skin too, which is one of the more baffling things. Like they gave the fucking alien blaster a skin. Who in their right mind would fucking buy that? Are you serious, Bethesda? Have you ever seen... Anyone who's ever seen the damage stats on the alien blaster will know that that thing's a fucking piece of shit, and they're selling skins for it. Who in their right mind would buy that? Like, seriously, if Bethesda wanted to start making money off of, selling weapon skins, they ought to look at the stats and what people are using. They must be doing it in some way because the handmade has many skins about it. The assault rifle, not so much, but the combat rifle and the fixer, if they've got a skin for that, a jet black fixer, like actually painted black and not just the gunmetal grey that the regular combat rifles, I reckon that'd sell. A golden fixer, that would sell like hotcakes. Everyone would want to buy that. It's not terribly not obvious what I'm saying, right? I feel like I'm making sense. Have I gone mad? To be honest, I might just rename this build to 10mm pistol build because despite it being quite a flawed weapon, it is the best pistol there is in the game, mostly because of the suppressor. You can get away sometimes with the pipe guns. Funnily enough, you can suppress those. The pipe revolver is the only one that can be suppressed, so... Ironically, it's the shantytown revolver type weapon that is going to be the best of the revolvers, which it doesn't make a lot of sense. These weapons are supposed to be powerful and refined, and even when I'm pushing all of this extra damage from being bloodied and having it explosive, I'm not feeling the power. It just sucks. The weapon's not fun to use whatsoever, and then that's when you hit a problem. And this is why people don't play gunslinger builds, because the weapons suck unless you're using a 10mm pistol. But then you want to use it automatic because you get the better DPS out of it. Take this one for example. I can kill a queen with this, granted I don't need a shit ton of buffs, but you'll never see this thing take a queen in your bloody life. And on top of all of that nonsense, keep in mind that you still gotta wrestle around with having such limited space and, I guess, versatility in your agility, because okay, this is a fair fight for a 44 Magnum, sure. At least the game's taking pity on me now, I suppose. But yeah, you could do a lot better with a 10mm pistol in this game, and I don't know. You take a look at New Vegas for a second, cast your minds back to that game where if you were good enough with revolvers, you've specced into them, you've got a couple of perks that would help you out. The Ranger Sequoia could kick ass. You could take Deathclaws down in 2-3 bullets with that thing. Granted, you can do the same thing in this game, but you could fire that thing a lot quicker. I'm guessing the Courier was a little bit of a a cowboy individual, because that hammer went down as soon as you fucking released the trigger. It was that quick. But, you know, I feel like the limitations and the, I guess, the direction they took the revolvers in that game, the artistic direction, as in, like, I'm thinking of a word, but, as unrealistic as it was to pull down the hammer that fast after firing the weapon, it did make the revolvers fun to use. I remember using Lucky as a build that is, you know, for gunslingers and crits, and the Lucky, even though it was like a level, 25 guns requirement gun, it actually did really well. But you don't get this in this game. You just get a bunch of crap weapons that are inferior to your basic fucking automatic pipe rifles. And I realize this video basically turned into a rant with some gameplay thrown over the top, but I want this gunslinger playstyle to be interesting. I want it to be fun. And if I'm not doing the amount of damage that I'm getting out of other things, my combat effectiveness isn't as fun. So, you know, you feel like you're playing at a disadvantage as compared to other builds. And we'll just get that Scorched Beast aggroed if we can scope out any targets in VATS. See what we can do. Not too bad damage out of it, but we're going to die. Serendipity's been fucking lazy today. Alright, back in now, and now I've got Fireproof on like I should have in the first place. And I realize there's a lot of random encounter stuff going on right now, so looks like it's Mutant Warlords. Well, at least I get a little bit of revenge on these bastards. Decent run of gun-fu right here. Doesn't really matter too much if I lose all my AP, because I can get it back pretty quickly. There's another one over there. Yeah, can't really use the sneaking too much. I don't know even why I bothered sneaking, but yeah, against the squishier, more numerous enemies like the gun zombies, you can actually do pretty well. Come on. Even with all this perception, it took me 5 fucking shots to zero in on that head target, which left me super vulnerable, mind you. Shot by everything else. Oh man. Maybe a VATS accuracy boost? Just a little bit, plus 1% VATS accuracy with the critical ascension stack? I don't know. Obviously you can't call it critical ascension because that would just be plagiarism, but I wonder how hard that would be to implement. They'd probably break it and have it like available for all weapons, so everyone would just be using fixes with critical ascension and dropping the queen in like 30 seconds. That'd be silly. Maybe that might be too hard to implement. I certainly wouldn't know how to do that, but well, I'd say that Bethesda have got professional developers in Fallout 76 and could probably figure it out, but I don't want to lie to you. They certainly haven't displayed themselves to be of that caliber, which is a shame. I feel like they've been a little bit fucked over by the management. They're not allowing them the experience, the time, the resources to actually make things good. Hence why the PTS exists. But anyways, I think you get the point of this weapon. It's nearly fucked anyway, I think. Oh yeah, she doesn't want to give any more. She's about to break, but there you have it. I'm not really impressed with this thing. Again, I'm much better off using this thing. It's just objectively inferior, and I decided to... It's even heavier. I guess the scope makes it heavy, but there's no variety in these weapons. It's just the same thing, but, you know, different. I mean, even the single-action revolver, it's even worse off because of the reloads. They're just... None of these gunslinger weapons are good. It's just a gunslinger rant. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit annoyed right now because I expected the thing to be better. Let's just actually get the weapon that I was using, but... There you have it, a BE-15 revolver. It sucks. I wouldn't use it. It's basically suicide. Just use a suppressed 10mm pistol and you'll have much better survivability and damage output. Thank you for watching, guys.